Congratulations. You didn't have to pick a good time to get your first Newcastle goal tonight, did you?
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been playing in different positions, and today I was playing a little bit higher up, and the manager's demanding that I need to get my numbers up, and thankfully I got my goal today.
Tell us about it, because it's some wonderful work from Anthony Gordon down the wing and a really nice finish into that far corner. Did you know what you were going to do as that ball's coming? Was that instinctive?
Yeah, I knew I was in the box, and when I played at 1-2 with Gordy, I just instinctive really, left foot, nice finish, yeah, really good.
I mean, the celebration, a big celebration, big smile on your face, and then we just seen you down at the front as well, in front of the away end. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, it's been tough, you know. I like to think I'm a box-to-box midfielder scoring goals. Obviously, my first goal today, just pure emotion, and yeah, just happy with the 3 points.
As you say, you've had a tough start, I guess, to your Newcastle career with that injury in the autumn. How does it feel now that you're back, you're contributing, given an opportunity to show what you can do? Yeah,
I got injured in my first start, out for 2 months. I needed to build back fitness, and then I was in and out of the team. But I'm feeling good, feeling fit. I just want to stay in the team, keep scoring goals, keep getting assists, and helping the team out.
Well, you definitely help the team, and congratulations, because you are player of the match. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
So there you have it, a first goal for Newcastle and a player of the match trophy to go along with it. And what a huge goal that was, as Newcastle United got a win on the road, and they got their first win in the Premier League since the 4th of January. And how important could this go?
How pleased are you not only with the win, but the way your team did it tonight?
Yeah, it was a good performance from us tonight. I mean, I think really strange game, because I don't think we deserved to be level when we were. Tottenham scored, I think, against the run of play. And then really big credit to the lads, because in that moment the game could have got away from us, but we responded really well, scored a second goal, and thankfully defended the last few minutes really well.
You've just been watching that Jacob Ramsey finish over my shoulder there. A lovely finish, and someone we spoke about before the game, you gave an opportunity to. He's had a difficult start to his Newcastle career. How pleased are you he's showing why you paid the money you did in the summer? Yeah,
really good goal. I mean, he's such a good technical player, and I thought you saw that. I thought the two number 8s today for us, Joe Willock and Jacob Ramsey, were excellent today. Physically really good. I thought we controlled the first half in part due to them and Bruno's performance. So I was really happy, and delighted he scored, because I think he needed that sort of recognition. On his recent performances have been very good.
You kind of referenced it in your first answer, but to get that goal, I think it was about 4 minutes after the equaliser, the crowd's up, it feels like Spurs have got a foothold in the game. To be able to control it and build a goal the way you did, is that maybe something that you haven't done in recent weeks?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've played really well today. We've had a number of shots, a number of chances. We hadn't scored throughout the first half, but I felt we dominated. Joe Willock's offside goal, I thought, was really harsh. So the lads have kept going and had to do it the hard way, and full credit to the mentality of the group, the feeling of the group, because we've had it tough in recent weeks, and that game could have got away from us, but we didn't allow it to, and thought we fully deserved to win.
A lot of talk from the support, I suppose, has been about the recruitment in the summer and what it has and hasn't brought. But tonight, 2 of the new signings scored. Howe is, I believe, the joint top scorer among defenders in the Premier League, and almost a striker's finish from him on the corner.
Yeah, I was delighted for Malek. He's played really well for us. He's been an ever-present. I think he's been really strong in his performances. He scored some big goals for us, and that was a massive one, because I thought he showed the desire to get to the ball first, and a cool finish, as you say. So I think he's been outstanding. JJ's really done well in recent weeks. Anthony Langer played really well today. So I always say, with the transfer market, you just have to be patient and give the players a chance to settle in, to see their best form. I thought it was a promising night in that respect.
So looking forwards, what does this do for the mood around the club? The gap, I think, to potential European places is only 3 points now. Does it feel like that is a realistic opportunity now over the next few weeks?
Yeah, well, I think that has to be our aim. I think it's been a tough season for us in the Premier League. We've been very inconsistent. We've had good results. We've also had a negative spell of results recently. But we're still in there fighting, and we'll go to the very end, and we'll try and win as many games as we can.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Eddie Howe there. A few interesting points to pick up on there. You know, he didn't feel that Tottenham deserved to be level in that game, but he was worried that the game could have got away from them, but it didn't. And they do deserve huge credit for that, don't they?
Well, especially away from home, their form this year has been poor. So once the home side get back in it, it lifts the crowd, doesn't it? And you think, oh, you know, they don't deserve to be back in it, but we say set plays is always a danger from both sides. And of course, they got an important goal from a set play. You do worry at that point, but I think, they were good enough to show their quality, and absolutely buzzing for Ramsey to get his first goal as well. He said himself he's a box-to-box player. He arrived in the box at the perfect time, and Anthony Gordon found him lovely. So it's a really nice goal. You pick up Ramsey here in the halfway line, and you just keep an eye on him. He doesn't just follow his pass. As they say, he says in the interview, like maybe the Newcastle fans haven't seen the best of him just yet, but he's not happy just to be a midfielder. He wants to get on the score sheet. Anthony Gordon does really well, of course, and he sort of tracks a couple of Spurs players and then just lays it off for the outside of his right foot. But Les, you must be buzzing with that sort of finish. A great finish.
I was saying, he gets into the box, and as you said, talks about being a box-to-box midfielder, and perhaps this part of his game we haven't seen enough of. And that I can't tell you how good a finish that is, because he doesn't slash it. It just takes his time and he guides it into the bottom corner. It's the only place he can put it where the goalkeeper can't get it, and it's a great finish. And I thought he played really well today. I thought he worked hard, and you can see by his celebration there's that relief. He knows what he's been bought for. And
that's the thing, isn't it? Maybe his persistence paid off there with that goal, because he worked hard all night. He's had to be patient, hasn't he? And he said in the interview as well, he got injured. It's taken time for him to get into this team, but still just 24 years of age, and he had a big impact tonight.
He did have a big impact, and it was an opportunity, obviously, with Joe Linton out injured. Tonali was rested tonight. It was an opportunity to go and show us what you can do. And I think he done that in abundance. And Eddie Howe's now got a problem with, of course, when Joe Linton's back and Tonali's fit as well. And that was really unlucky, that Joe Willock goal. He played really well tonight as well. Actually, Willock from midfield, driving into the box as well. I think he was off. His forehead was offside supposedly for that goal, but unlucky.
You're not having it, are you?
I'm not really having it, but he was unlucky.
And I think the manager said both his number 8s played really well tonight. And this is the part of the game that perhaps we don't see enough of and give them credit for, because I thought both of them, all their players got back and helped when they needed to help and got forward. And I thought they just about edged it and deserved to win the game. When Eddie says he wasn't sure they deserved to be in the game, I thought second half Spurs did come out and they were in the ascendancy until they scored.
Yeah, Ramsey wasn't the only new signing to score, was he? Howe scored 4 goals now. As Danny referenced in the interview, he's now the top scorer for a defender in the Premier League with 4. But again, they have come in for a little bit of criticism, haven't they, the new signings?
They have, yeah.
The 3 that started today did well.
But not this man. Chow's been brilliant from day one, I think, and of course Willock as well with a fantastic ball. Les mentioned at half time how many Tottenham players are back. Someone's got to get out to Willock, close the cross quicker. And then they got to pick up inside. I think Sarr can be stronger as well at the back post. But I'm looking more at the positive side from a Chow point of view. He's strong in the air. He's a brilliant header. Great save from Vicario. But he's too strong. He out-muscles Sarr and he gets a toe poke on it. And I think Eddie mentioned there's a bit of a striker's finish on the end. He gets it in the back of the net. But he's been a real success, actually. I think he's been ever present, Eddie says, in the team. And again, so it's a good night for him as well. And
we spoke pre-match, didn't we, about the games to come for Newcastle. They've got Aston Villa in the Cup, but a big journey, in Europe as well. But, does this just calm things down a little bit now? They've got a chance to build a little bit of momentum and hopefully kick on. I think you can see by the celebrations at the end of it, the way they went over to supporters and the way they felt and the way they was celebrating that this is a bit of relief. And hopefully now they can relax and go into the Villa game knowing that they can win away from home. Then they've got the other games to come. So, this was a big relief. Like as I said before, this was a big game for both sides, and Newcastle have come out on top, and that will breed confidence, the confidence they need. Evening on just what that meant to him, what it meant to the travelling fans, and what it meant to that travelling team here as well. 2 new signings with the goals for this one tonight. But Archie Gray's equaliser wasn't enough to secure any points whatsoever, because Jacob Ramsey popped up with his first goal for Newcastle, which ultimately secured all 3 points and Newcastle's only 3rd away Premier League game this season. So sensational stuff there. But the bottom line, Les, is that questions will remain now over what happens with Tottenham, what happens with Thomas Frank. They're sitting just 3 points above the relegation zone. Yeah, and you heard the groans at the end of the game. The boos were very loud, and they have been very audible all season. A lot of the supporters have lost faith in what Frank is doing here. Difficult because, like I said, he's worked most of the season without any of his creative players. He's been really unfortunate in terms of that. But, the performances at home just haven't been good enough. And, that's what counts. Yeah, well, let's get some reaction then from Thomas Frank, because he's just walked into our interview room and he's with Danny Jameson.
Thomas, it's another home defeat tonight. What are your thoughts after that?
I think that the players gave everything out there. I think Newcastle were better than us overall in the first half, and I think we came back second half, equalised. And after that equaliser, a little bit symbolic for our season that we have in transition. We miss past it to potentially go to, I'm not saying it will be a big chance, but miss it. And then they go the other way, and then we defend badly in that moment, in my opinion, and then concede the 2-1. And then we didn't have enough to come back into the game.
Why do you think that happened? I mean, against a team that are struggling in Newcastle, you only had 2 shots on target in the entire game. I know there's injuries and this is a transitional season, but should the performances, particularly at home, be better than this?
Yeah, I think I understand why you answer the question or ask the question. I think it's also fair to say that we are a little bit hit by injuries. We had 11 players out, and then we got another one after 30 minutes. So it's not a fully team in confidence and flow with everything. And I also think it's fair to say that Newcastle have had a more, well-built squad over the last years. So that was not the top combination, but even with that, we had an opportunity to get something out of the game, which we didn't take.
There was a moment, I think in the first half and in the second half, where the supporters were booing when the ball gets played backwards. It seems like the attacking wise, it was quite static at times. Is that the players? Is this injuries? Like, what is the reason, do you think, for the lack of attacking threat in games like tonight?
I think it's a little bit a combination of as you say, many things. As I said, some of the key players out. A team that is defending, it's defending well, and then of course a moment where maybe the confidence is not top, that you then in a situation you go forward, you turn backwards.
In your press conference yesterday, there were a lot of questions about whether Spurs are in a relegation battle. You didn't mention relegation by name, but the gap is closing. Is this team in a relegation battle? Do the squad understand the position that they're in the league table?
We definitely need to understand we are not in a top position, and that we need to do everything we can to work very hard to get out of.
So you've heard the boos and the chants against you, chanting that you be sacked in the morning. Like, what can you tell the Spurs fans that gives you confidence, to give them confidence that you are the man to dig them out of this position?
I think understand the frustration. I also understand it's the easiest thing is to point at me. That's fair. That's part of the job. Unfortunately, I also know one thing. I'll work day and night very hard to do everything I can to turn it around. But also, it's never only one person. I also think it's fair to say that the situation we've been in also last year. So there's something we need to get through and improve, and I'm not in doubt that I'm part of that.
Obviously, there's 12 days now until the next game, the North London derby. Have you spoken at all to the hierarchy at the club? Are you confident that you'll be in your position? Have you any worries about your job at Spurs?
No, I spoke to them yesterday, so no.
And results, performances like tonight, the reaction from the supporters, do you think that will have any bearing on them changing their opinion between now and the Arsenal game?
No.
So if you could give one message, I suppose, to the Spurs supporters who would like somebody different in your position come Arsenal, what would it be?
But that's a fair question. I'll just say what I do is I'll work very hard. I'll make sure we do everything we can to put a competitive team out there that's ready to fight.
Do you know what? It's a really difficult situation, isn't it? Danny asked some great questions there. And fair play, though, from Thomas Frank. You know, he answered them all. Mm-hmm. What did you make of his comments? And just the fact that he has faith that he will still be here come the Arsenal game?
I mean, obviously, there were a few key points that he said, this is not all me, and relating to the squad and what's been bought. He mentioned that Newcastle have probably spent a little bit better than Tottenham have in recent times. And he's going to work hard, and that's what you expect. Now people have to show personality. The players will go home tonight, or before they go home, they'll see where they are in this league. And if they've got any pride and self-respect, they'll look at it and know that it's not just about the manager, it's about them as well. You can point the finger at the manager all the time, and one thing you do here is when the manager does get sacked, the players come out and say they've got to look at themselves. They need to look at themselves now. You know, they should have been looking at themselves all season, but now they really need to just look at themselves and say, well, what do we do to get ourselves out of this situation?
I mean, that's the thing. Should, for example, the first half performance have been better? That's not Thomas Frank's fault necessarily, is it? The one against Manchester City as well.
You have to question it, because this is not the first time. Manchester City's not not the second time. It's been happening all season here. The first half performances have been nowhere near the level that we're seeing in the second half, and you keep asking yourself, why is that? How can that be that you perform like that in the second half, or have to wait till you go a goal down before you start performing? I just don't get it, and I don't know what the preparation is. I don't know if they're doing something wrong in their preparation at the start, because it's taking 45 minutes for them to really get themselves going.
I mean, you can see on your screen there, Tottenham are bottom of the form table. You know, I mean, is Thomas Frank the right man to take Spurs forward, do you feel, Shay?
Yeah,
I mean, Ange Postecoglou wasn't the right man last season either, according to some people.
So then you ask, when does the players step up and worry about what are they bringing enough to the table? You know, first half, total different reaction. Second half, they should start the game. I know it's easy to say how they started the second half, much better. It's easy to blame Thomas Frank. You know, there's recruitment. There's lots of different things going into it. You rightly said last season it was the same in the Premier League. The performance was well below par. But if you look at the table even as a player, forget Thomas Frank for a second, you're starting to worry. You don't want to get relegated from the Premier League. You don't want that on your CV. And a club, I've been here for the first time tonight. This is a special stadium. This is a fantastic place to play football. This wouldn't be a fantastic place in the Championship, that's for sure. And the alarm bells are starting to ring. And the next game, Emma, as you rightly said, is Arsenal in the North London derby. That's a huge game. Arsenal will be rubbing their hands together coming here, because it feels like they're on the ropes, these players, and the confidence. And I think it's too easy just to blame the manager, because the players have to stand up, look at themselves in the mirror and think, am I bringing enough to this football club? And I don't think they are at the minute.
Well, one of the highlights of tonight, in the sort of small glimmer of hope that there was for Tottenham, was this Archie Gray goal. And I mean, we spoke about it off air, Liz. He's one of the shining lights in this team, and he's 19 years of age.
He could arguably be their player of the season. He's come in and he's played in various different positions. He came in as a midfield player, but he's played centre half, he's played right back, and every position he's played in, he's given his best. And, you know, you speak about, and I'm so pleased for him that he got his goal tonight. He'll go home disappointed because they've lost the game. But he's one player that you look at and say each and every game he goes out and plays, he gives of his all.
Ultimately, relying on young players though at this level at a club like this, it's not okay.
But you've got to look at the recruitment that they've done, and the recruitment they've brought a load of young players in. So when you do that, unfortunately, I suppose they didn't expect to play them as much as they have had to play them this season. But that's what the recruitment has been in recent years here at Spurs. They've gone for a younger set of players, and they take time to bed in.